Okay, now we're going to look at how the soil takes in this water and these minerals. We know that water and minerals are going to enter the roots the same way. They can enter through the porous cell walls, and then they get forced into the endodermal cells, and then they can also enter through root hairs. When it enters the root cells, it's going to do this because there's a lower osmotic pressure in the root cells than in the soil, and because of diffusion, it's going to move from a high concentration in the soil to low concentration. And the minerals are then actively taken up by the plant cells, and they are carried by the xylem or in the xylem along with the water. And this is just showing you what the roots look like. You can see the root hairs, and you can see you've got the cortex, and then you've got that Casparian strip that's right next to the endodermis, where you're going to take the water in and the minerals in. And up in the top picture, you can see the xylem. It's the second one from the bottom labeled, which transports the water and the minerals. Now, there are adaptations in the roots for this, and this involves a lot of symbiosis because it helps the roots obtain mineral nutrients. One example is Rhizobium bacteria. It's found in nodules that are on roots, and this is a nitrogen-fixing bacteria because it can take the nitrogen gas out of the atmosphere and turn it into a usable form for the plant. And this is symbiotic because the plant provides the bacteria with carbohydrates, whereas the bacteria are providing nitrogen to the plant. Another one is mycorrhiza, which is a symbiotic relationship between a fungus and the roots of a plant. And what the fungus does is it increases the surface area for water and mineral uptake. And the root is going to provide the fungus with sugars and amino acids, so they both are benefiting here. There are other ways they can get nutrients. There are parasitic plants that live on other plants and get their nutrients that way. There are also carnivorous plants like the Venus flytrap that can get their minerals and water that way. This is showing you those root nodules that are on the roots of some plants, and again, they can take the nitrogen out of the atmosphere and turn it into a usable form for the plant. This is showing you the mycorrhiza that you find with the fungus that's on the plant, and you know the one that doesn't have the mycorrhiza, it's not as healthy a plant. And look at the roots, how they're different if they have that mycorrhiza there. Now, there are also transport mechanisms in the plants, and I've mentioned one of these before. They are called vascular tissues, and they transport water and minerals. And xylem is the name of it. And it has two types of conducting cells. It has tracheids that allow water to move from one trachea to the next, and then there are vessel elements, which are long and tubular and placed end to end. They kind of form a hollow pipeline from the roots to the leaves. So water is going to move from high concentration to low concentration, or high water potential to low water potential. It's high down in the roots, so it's going to move up to the rest of the plant. And this is showing you the structure of the xylem, and you can see what I'm talking about. You see the tracheids there that are labeled. Those are tapered at both ends, and they kind of overlap so that water can pass. And then you can also see the vessel elements there, which are like long tubes. Another transport mechanism is phloem, And this transports the organic materials or the sugars that are made by photosynthesis. And here the conducting cells are called sieve tube members. And they're going to have companion cells that go along with them to provide proteins to them. They're going to have some end walls that have these sieve plates, which are very numerous and have lots of pores in them. And then you're going to have plasmodesmata that go through those sieve plates. And this is what phloem looks like. You see up there the sieve tube or the sieve plate at the top and how it's perforated. And then you've got the sieve tube member with a companion cell next to it. And this is just showing you the xylem and the phloem. Xylem's carrying water and minerals up from the roots, and phloem is carrying the nutrients, the organic materials, down from the leaves where it's been made by photosynthesis. And you can see the xylem is in the red and the phloem is in the blue.